Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Thanks so much for tuning in today. And today you're joining me for one of my video series called Way Out Wednesdays, or the acronym of WOW. I have lots of videos in this series. Truly, I have covered so many interesting metaphysical, spiritual topics, from the usual, boring regular old aliens, to conversation with a Sasquatch, to soul contracts, ascension, you name it, I've covered it. Today, we're going to talk about incarnation because it's kind of an important topic. I often hear my clients, my students say, I'm not coming back. You can't make me come back. I'm done. I'm toast. I'm ready to not experience this planet again. Now, there's lots of reasons for that, and they're all valid. They're all valid. But why do we come back? If you're telling me you're not coming back, but yet you've had 500 lifetimes on this planet, then something is broken. Either you've got terrible directions and you're ending up on this planet again and again because you forget to take the right exit, or you're a glutton for punishment. I mean, what is it, right? Why? For the love of God, why do we keep coming back to this planet? I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons my spirit guides say humans want to come back to this planet. We actually feel compelled to come back to this planet. Compelled, like we can't wait to come back. Now, I'm sure this is a deeper topic than I'm going to be able to dip into today, but this is going to give you an overview, and hopefully it'll allow you to consider some new ideas, and maybe it'll free you. Maybe it'll free you from coming back here, because truly, we don't have to. No one is making you. There's no intergalactic police that are forcing you to come back here. It's almost like an energetic soul loop that we're on, that we just kind of and the guides are saying right now that the more times you've been here, they talk about this in other videos as well. If you think about wearing a path down in the earth, right? Like if you're taking a path through the woods all the time, I mean, pretty soon there's no trees growing there. There's no grass growing there. It's a well-worn path. Well, if you did that for 500 times, meaning lifetimes, and your average lifetime was 60 years old, you might consider that you're wearing a divot, a trench in that energy. Think of it like that. It's just as easy to continue staying in that little trench, in that little divot that you've made in the energy. It's much harder, maybe even, in a way, intimidating or scary to take a different path. Because what do we always say? Let's stay with the devil we know versus the devil we don't know. So this could be, you could be like, oh, not again, but something feels familiar about it, right? Because you've created this trench, this energetic path that you've traveled for 500 lifetimes. That's a lot of energy. So let's talk about the reasons. I'm just going to break it down into reasons. And number one is that this planet is so unique. There isn't really another planet like it. I mean, period. It's really and truly a one-off. Now, what does that mean? Well, for number one, in the number one position, what it means is your soul comes here to expand. There's not another planet that has the duality, that has the opposites, right? That isn't all, mundane, gray, no choices. Here we have all the choices. Why do we like buffets? Sometimes we're in the mood to eat this, and sometimes we're in the mood to eat that. That pretty much sums up why humans come here. This is a buffet of experiences. You can really experience anything under the sun, as it were, for our planet, right? Now, why would you want to experience that? Well, because your soul expands. Again, if you're from a different planet and you have telepathy and you can read energy, then no one's going to rob you. No one's going to attack you. You're not even going to associate with other beings that don't necessarily vibe with you. So there's no reason for you to go to war with them. There's no reason for you to have animosity towards them. One thing that they often show me is how you can repel, right? You can either be attracted or you can repel. And in these other existences, when someone doesn't necessarily vibe with your energy, it's like you repel. You literally cannot get close to each other. If you can't get close to each other, then you're not going to irritate each other. Then you're not going to go to war with them. So it kind of solves a whole lot of problems, right? We're talking peace. We're talking real peace here. But at the same time, there's no growth in that environment. If I never have to be tempted by something maybe that somebody would consider bad, or if I never have to be angered by somebody or incensed or hurt, then I never have to deal with that situation. Oh, we come to planet Earth because this is a full-on buffet of anger, joy, pain, elation, all the opposites. It's all here. And souls, meaning the non-physical part of you, come here to experience that. And I've often told you guys that there's a line to get on this planet. A line. When I visually look at this energy, I can't see the end of the line. It just goes on and on and on and on. So there's a never-ending line of souls that want to experience this. So that's number one. And then as we get down to number 5, you'll see why those souls sometimes get stuck, or really I want to say the human part of this wants to say trapped. And I think that's how it feels sometimes, but non-physical, my spirit guides would say more like you're in that groove. You're in that groove and you're like, these are the reasons why I want to keep coming back. So, and I had to write these down so I would stay on track. Number 2 is Earth is beautiful. I mean, this is a 5-star Michelin rated planet right here. We have the mountains and the beach and the forest and the deserts. We have the snow-covered, ice-covered areas. We have the tropical jungles. We have these amazing oceans full of sea life. I mean, this is truly an amazing planet. And I'm not saying that, I think the guides are saying that I'm, what is the word? I'm biased. They're saying I'm biased because it is one of the reasons why I want to come back. I don't think I'm coming back. They told me I'm not coming back and I got sad. Not because I'm going to miss, like really good French fries and chocolate. Well, I mean, I am going to miss that, but because I'm going to miss nature. I'm going to miss, I was non-physical. Well, we were all non-physical. Okay, let me explain it differently. Just to basically put a label on it, because that's how we understand things as humans. I was an alien not that many lifetimes ago. I've had a handful of lifetimes in this Milky Way. A handful. So I can do past life regression and I'm back to an alien pretty quickly. So in my experience as an alien, or whatever you want to call that, a star being, I mean, whatever label anybody needs to put on it to understand it. I mean, you guys, come on, let's think about it. Let's think about Mars. Let's think about Saturn. Do you think that's hospitable? Does that even match anything that we have here on this planet? There really aren't many planets that have the unique combination of natural features that the Earth does. There just isn't that many planets. There really isn't. And it is a words. It is a gentle balance. That's not the word, but it's close enough. A gentle balance that we are keeping it alive, right? That the rivers aren't all polluted, that the air isn't all polluted. This is a constant balancing act that humans are doing with some help to kind of keep Earth and Earth herself. Earth is a living entity. And she's doing her own part too, right? I mean, those of you who will be watching this and say, humans aren't doing a very good job, Susan. We've poisoned all that and I know there's a lot of glass half empties here. I get it. It's a tough place to be. And we have done a lot of damage to Mother Earth. But I will tell you, she's a lot bigger than us. And she's going to have the last word. What they just said is she is going to have the last word. And that is why I think a lot of these billionaires or whatever they are now want to escape Earth. This is why they're all building these spaceships, because they know they're not going to be able to stay here. And, maybe they think they're just ruining it and they're not going to be able to stay here. But I'm telling you, they're not going to be able to stay here because she's going to kick them off. We are going to stay here. We are going to find a way to live on this planet. It's going to be very different. And I've done videos about that. Okay. But so number 2 is this planet is spectacular. It's absolutely like when you create something and it's your best, it's a masterpiece. That's what they're calling it. This is a masterpiece of creation. Other planets are watery and they've got amazing, fantastic watery environments. Other planets are craggy and rocky and they have amazing craggy, rocky environments. But this planet has all of it. So that's a really important reason that a lot of starseeds or a lot of people like myself that haven't incarnated very long on Earth, this would be a real reason you want to come back. But it would also be a reason that if you've been here 400 times, it would be a reason that you would want to come back. All of these reasons are valid as to why someone or a non-physical soul who wanted to reincarnate again. These are all reasons why you want to come back. Now, let's get down into the nitty gritty because those are kind of fluffy, Susan, number 1 and number 2. Number 3 is children and progeny. What in the, does progeny even mean, right? I'm going to have to look it up. I mean, I know loosely what these things mean, but I always want to know exactly what they mean if I'm going to be saying it in front of YouTube land. So what they would say is that humans, when we have children, we want to come back. It's a sense of part of our soul is still on the planet. And we want to come back. And you could have children, you could have grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-great-great-grandchildren. Or you could have, even if you were childless, you could have a real connection to a niece or a nephew, or a connection to humanity. This sense that I need to go back, like that sense of soldiers not wanting to leave anybody behind. I'm not going to leave my fellow human on that planet. I'm going to go back and help them. So, but children is a really big thing. Now, some people say if you have children, you're in the karmic, you're karmic trapped or something like that. Like it's like this whole idea of karma, again, the guides would say is sort of glass half empty versus glass half full. You can use these energies and you can describe them either way. Either I'm coming back because I have to, because of karma, because I had these kids, now I'm trapped in this karma loop. Or you can say, I have these beautiful souls that I have, that are a part of me. And I want to be there. I want to experience them. I want to reincarnate as their grandchild. I want to be a part of that process. So you can see how you can have a negative attitude or a positive attitude. And you know what? I'm not judging because I'm a Virgo. I can be critical. I can be judgmental. I can get stuck in that kind of, critical kind of mindset. So, but what's important here is to understand that it is a choice. These are the facts. The guides are saying, these are the facts. You decide how you want to interpret them. Okay. So it's really up to you. You can think, oh, well, bummer, Susan didn't have kids. She doesn't have to come back. Or you can think that Susan didn't have kids. How sad. She doesn't have a soul connection to this planet. Right? I mean, there's a lot of ways to think about it. This is why I do these videos. The guides want us to expand our consciousness, to think about things from many different angles. Get out of your comfort zone. Walk over here and look at it from this direction. Walk over here and talk to this person who is going to help you see it from a different direction. We really want to expand. This is number one. We came here. The number one reason was to expand our soul. So if we're getting in that trench and we're just doing the same things over and over again, lifetime after lifetime, we're not expanding. We're defeating the purpose of why we came here. So that they don't really want that. And I'll tell you, just as a pro tip, a pro tip is that you can create that, that they had a really good word for it one time. I don't remember what I just said. You can create that trench and you could stay in that for even many lifetimes, but they won't let you stay in it. They'll pop you out of that. They'll do something to try to help you get out of that path and get on a new path. Now, that can look like, if for those that do tarot, a tower moment. It can look like a time when all hell broke loose, or, a bad time, a terrible time. That's what it looks like, because to get you out of that, they have to literally do something so jarring and so completely different to get you up and out of that very well-worn path. And they're telling me when we're walking on that path, we're looking down. We're not even looking. We're not experiencing anything. We might be walking past the most beautiful mountain and the most beautiful pasture full of flowers, but we're not noticing anymore. We're just in the path. And that's why they have to get in our energy and go and snap us out. Okay. So children are not a karmic trap, but it is like a lure. They would say it's like a lure, an attractant to get that makes you want to come back to Earth. And you often do. People that have children often do reincarnate. And the more progeny you have, the more likely, and the more often you are to reincarnate here on this planet. So if you're watching this and you're 20 and you're like, I'm not having kids, the guides would say, what don't you like about this planet? What don't you like about your experience? And try to fix that. Try to work on it in your life, in your current life. If you don't like war and you feel like the planet is really violent, then stop imbibing, stop ingesting war. You don't need to watch war to know you don't like it. When you go to vote, you simply do your research at that time. You look at their votes. If they voted for things you don't like, you don't vote for them. You don't have to watch the news 24/7 to be an active citizen. When you go to vote, you do your research. It's all there. Then you imbibe, then you ingest all the information. So you really can live on this planet and almost be living in a separate space, right? And I know people have, because I do a lot of political videos, and people really kind of challenge me on that, but that's what the guides say. So I would say call 1-800 Guides, press 1 for complaints. Okay, let's move on. That's children. We're going to go into the next, number 4 is get it right. We go up there. What that means is we cross over, we die, we cross over, we get to non-physical, we get with our spirit guides, we have our life review, we get with our our soul group, our soul family. It's a homecoming. It literally is a homecoming. There's a celebration. Everybody's thrilled to see you, believe it or not. And the people that you had problems with on earth, that your soul may still be damaged by that interaction, don't have to be there. I mean, another pro tip. Another reason, one of the top two reasons why people don't cross over and become ghosts is because they don't want to see their abuser. So that person is not going to be there. You don't have to worry about that. Because having left Earth, your soul is going to still be kind of have this Earth energy about it. Okay. You're going to have some of your Earth memories. You're going to have some of your Earth energy. I don't know how else to describe it. So when you're over there, you're still fresh. Your memories, your experiences are still fresh. So no, you're not going to see somebody that killed you, or that you're not going to see somebody that did something horrible to your family. That the universe doesn't work like that. You're going to see people and energies that celebrate you. Okay. So now you're up there and you're watching your life review, and the guides want to describe it like this. In your earthly incarnation, in your human body on earth, you could think of this lifetime here on earth as being in a labyrinth or being in a maze, like you can't see, like you can only go 5 feet. There's a wall. You go left. Now, do I go right or left? You're making decisions. You can't see. You have amnesia. When you came here, you gave up the idea of your own psychic abilities. That's not true, but you gave it up. You gave the idea of it up. You don't remember. Okay. So here you are watching your life review, and you're like, Susan, turn right, turn. Damn, she turned left. She always goes left. Now, this is really true for me because one thing that just got broken on the flight down here was my direction. And I telling you guys that if I feel in the soul of my being, I should go left. I've learned, just give it up and go right. Just let it go, Susan. Let it go. So, you're watching the movie of yourself and you're making life choices. You're in this maze and you're making the wrong choice. But you can, from your vantage point of up there, you can see into the top, and you can see how, oh my gosh, if I just was more open in my life, if I was less judgmental, if I was more experimental, if I didn't let that relationship knock me down so hard, if I didn't let my beginnings, my parents, my family make me feel so useless or worthless or not worth being loved, if I could do it again, I would just love myself a little more, and then I would have turned the right direction. Oh my gosh, I was so close, right? And this is really what they tell me is, we look at our lives and we go, I was so close. I really could have aced that lesson. I could have made better decisions. I could have been a better person, perhaps. I could have been a better mother, a better father. I could have been a better citizen, whatever. I could have been a better person to my own soul. I can do it. I can do this. This is not hard. I mean, look, this is easy. Well, of course, it's easy because you have all the answers. Tests are always easy when you're looking at the answers first. So, that's another reason why you come down here. You come down here to get it right, so to speak. That also sort of resonates with the first reason you come down here, which is soul expansion, right? I want to learn. I want to expand. I want to be bigger. I feel like what I'm getting right now is I would feel like my soul is this big. And if I come down again, my soul is going to be this big. And if I come down again, my soul is going to be this big. And this is something that they've all often told me, is that humans, I'm asking them because anyway, it doesn't matter. I was just asking them because humans are specifically, are human, the word human, is it specifically about earthlings, or do I need to say earthlings? That's the whole conversation I just had in that little thing. So humans, when we have incarnated here for a while, now it depends. If you're in your little track, then your soul isn't expanding, right? Because you're in your little track. You're not being challenged by anything. You're not growing because you're keeping in a safe track. But those souls that get booted out of their track and choose to continue that path. I mean, you can get booted out of that track, have some kind of crazy moments, and then find the track again and then get smaller. Like, I don't know what just happened out there, but it was terrible. It was the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. I'm going to get back on my track and I'm going to get really small. That's when you're in your life and you go like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to get in a new relationship. I don't want to get another job because this job is terrible, but at least it's a job. You get small, you get small, you get small. You're not expanding. Okay. You're not being challenged. You're not growing. You're trying to avoid anything bad happening. Bad quotation mark, because for them, it's not bad, but I'm with you. I'm a human. I'm like, get in the track, hide, crawl, do the army crawl. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. But as much as you try that, they'll continually, bad things, quote unquote, will continue happening to you because they don't want you in there. They want you to realize that when you're out of that track and you're walking on the ground next to it and you get hit by something, it does, you're okay. You experience grief. You experience pain. It doesn't kill you. You experience it. You grieve. You wail. You scream. And then you go out the other side. You continue. You don't get small in the track. You realize that was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I wouldn't. But here I am. Here I am. I made it out the other side of that. I'm a changed person. And you might even say, I don't know if I'm changed for the better or worse. I don't know. But I'm a changed person. And I'm going to continue because now I know how strong I am. That's expanding your soul. That's what we came here to do. Okay. So getting it right is pejorative. It's a judgment. It's a very human thing for me to say. They would say expansion. It's all about expansion and contraction. When you're in your little track, in a way, it's also like a foxhole. It's like those little tunnels that they make in war to hide from being blown up. It's just like that, right? I mean, if you want to use a human analogy, when you get out of that foxhole, you're exposed to enemy fire. But if you stay in there and crawl, you might survive. That's how humans think about it. It's not going to kill you to get out of the foxhole. It's not the same. It's just not the same. We can withstand these things that happen to us because, as they've already said, it's going to happen anyway. You can't hide from life's, problems, travails, challenges. You can't hide from it. You just can't. So if you stand up and out and say, okay, I'm enjoying the sun. I'm enjoying my life. I'm allowing myself to be joyful. I'm allowing myself to have humor. I'm allowing myself to love and feel love. You're exposing yourself to grief, pain, and anger, aren't you? You really are. Because opposites. This is a world of opposites. But if you're gonna experience grief, pain, and anger anyway, if you're in the foxhole, or if you're standing up enjoying the upside of all of that, you might as well stand up and get some of the good stuff. Have the balance of the grief and the joy versus being in the foxhole and getting grief and never experiencing joy because you're afraid that joy is going to bring you grief. So that's one reason why we're here. This is one reason why we come back. We want to get out of the foxhole. We're like, I can do it, coach. Put me back in the game. I'm going back. And you can't talk me out of it. This is really what we say. I'm going back and you cannot talk me out of it. When we're here, we're telling everybody, this is the last time I'm coming to bad Disneyland. This is it, right? So you can see now by addressing some of these issues the guides are talking about, you don't have to come back because it's not bad Disneyland. It's a beautiful, wondrous place that has so many offerings to expand your soul. And if your kids are here, you feel differently about it. You don't feel like you left a soldier on the battlefield. You feel like, oh my gosh, my progeny has such beautiful potential to expand their soul. And you can well up with pride about that and love, because you're not thinking, well, I left them there. Let's see if they survive. I don't know if they're going to make it. You know what I mean? Like, they're on their own, man. I did my lifetimes. It's a completely different viewpoint, right? So the last thing that I would say, number 5, is you want to come back to help mankind. Now, is this codependent? Could we call this, where are my therapists? Is this codependency? I mean, really, it's an interesting, the spirit guides gave me all of these, and it's an interesting idea. I would say I came here, and this doesn't mean that any of us are star players, because we all have a role to play. What it means is that all are necessary. All are necessary. No one is special. I came here because my energy, having not been human, a handful of lifetimes ago, my energy is different. I vibrate differently. I create a little bit of discombobulation, or a little bit of distortion, or I just, and you might be saying, Susan, I don't get that. Like, I don't get that about your energy. Well, you're watching me because our vibration is compatible, or they wanted to say simpatico, but it's the same, right? It's simpatico. Now, but I grew up in a family that was the exact opposite of me. That's why starseeds, whatever you want to call them, new souls to the earth, get put in families that are very different, because I know I had an impact on my family. I know that I had a real impact on my father. I really changed his viewpoint on a lot of things. Now, of course, he had an impact on me too. This isn't a one-way street, but I was a challenge for him from the get-go. I was a challenge for him. I've been a challenge to, in some ways, this community, because when I started doing YouTube videos, I didn't use cards. I still don't know how to read cards. My cards are cheater cards. I mean, they have the words on them. When I use a tarot card, it has the words right there on the card. I don't know how to read that stuff. So my first videos, and you can go back and watch them, and I say, hey, everybody, I'm a little bit different. I don't use cards. I just talked to my spirit guides. I was different. I had to tell you guys, I'm different. Don't expect me to use cards. That's not how I do it. Okay? That was me vibrating at a different vibration, not better or worse, different, to shake it up. So You come back here to make a difference. You come back here because perhaps you want to make a difference. Maybe you say, if I come back and I work really, and I do some different things with my vibration, I can really make a difference. Or maybe I want to come back and be an environmentalist. Or maybe I want to come back and make amends to a community. So the fifth reason is you come back because you feel like you have a purpose. And the purpose is bigger than you. What was it? Number 4. The last one was, I want to get it right for me. I want to grow. I want to expand my soul. And I really missed some opportunities. Or life was just so hard on me. I just couldn't. I needed to stay in that foxhole that whole lifetime because it was too much. It was too much. I'm going to take another chance. I'm going to take a chance that this time it's not going to be quite as bad. It's going to be not as overwhelming. And I'm going to be able to get out of that foxhole and I'll be able to walk, through life more exposed, more willing to take on whatever comes my way and not let it make me retreat. So 5 is the opposite. I want to come back and help my fellow humans, help the planet. I want to be of service to others. So those are the 5 reasons my spirit guides have said that people come back to planet Earth over and over and over again. Now, I don't know why, but I feel like some of you guys might be wondering why. Because sometimes I answer your questions before I see them. I mean, I'm still recording this. I haven't downloaded it, uploaded it to YouTube, all of that stuff. So I think some of you guys might have a question about me, like, well, so why are you not coming back to Earth? Like, if you love the planet and you can be of service to humans, then why aren't you coming back? And it's interesting because when I talk to my spirit guides about this, there's really a sense of finality about this. Like, I think a lot of you can decide, I am not. I really do. I think they're saying, let's say 75% of you can decide, I am coming back, I'm not coming back. It's 100% your decision. And also, you can take a break. I mean, you don't have to jump right back down here. I mean, you can take a long break if you want to. And there are other jobs. You can become a spirit guide and guide humans. There's other ways. You can become a spirit guide for your own family members, which is a different kind of spirit guide. So there's other ways to answer some of these things on this list, okay, besides reincarnating. But for some of us, for me, I'll just say for me, because we live in concurrent lives, and I've done a video on this, and I've talked about my concurrent lives, many versions of me running around the planet right now. I did a video on that. It's pretty fascinating. Because I'm living in the future and the past and in the present all together, I already know that I have a new job, a new what is that when they give you a new position, or anyway, assignment. Thank you. I have a new assignment. I'm already doing it. So I'm not coming back here because I'm already doing the new assignment, in that way that our lives are like a cake and they're on top of each other. It's not linear. So I'm already doing my new assignment and it's not on Earth. And I really am sad. My screensaver right now is the Grand Teton Mountains in Wyoming. It's probably my favorite mountains anywhere. And it's I'm looking at it right now. It's like my heart. Like this is going to be hard for me to not come back. Am I not going to miss Crazy humans? No, I'm not going to miss that. I'm not going to miss that. I'm going to miss Mother Nature. I'm going to miss the planet Earth. I am going to miss, so there's an important thing to say here, which is, even though right now we're in a lot of strife and there's a lot of war and there's a lot of things going on that are ugly, when you're in the middle of that, there's always the potential for peace because of opposites. So if you're incarnated right now, you're incarnated in a time where there's maximum potential. And to be a part of that is so amazing. To know that you could be a part of a time that even if it wasn't world peace, you had an opportunity to help, to provide solace for somebody. Maybe you sent $5 to some, not-for-profit that's helping feed people. Maybe you prayed for those people. We're all like little atoms, molecules. All of us matter, not just the warring, violent ones, all of us. So to give our power to the warring, violent ones and be small is a choice. It's a choice that denies the fact that you matter. So whereas the guides are saying, don't watch the news, don't be involved in this negative energy, they're not saying be small. They're saying, go out into nature, listen to beautiful music, enrich your soul, because we've said many times, you're holding their light. If people are suffering, their light is dim. And light never disappears, never. The sun's always coming up and going down. So while their light is dim, you hold their light. You celebrate for them. You welcome the new baby. You welcome the news of something positive, or you make positive energy in your own life, your own body, by listening to uplifting music, watching uplifting visuals, movies. We don't want to be suffering with them. That's not going to help anybody, right? We want to lift ourselves up, because shining our light and helping hold their light is a counterbalance to all the darkness. And that's one reason why you might come back. Because you're like intrepid soul that you are. You're saying, I'm going to go down there and shine my damn light because it's dark. I'm not going to be depressed. I'm not going to get wrapped up in this negative violence. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to shine my light. I'm going to be a beacon. I'm going to get out of the foxhole. I'm going to stand next to it and I'm going to shine my light. I'm going to take the punches or the hits or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to take it because I know that my soul wanted this experience. My soul wanted this expansion. And I want to allow that, because I know after the dark night of the soul, the sun rises. And I know I'm talking to you guys. I know a lot of you have had dark nights of the soul. I know a lot of you guys have had grief, unimaginable pain. But you're still here. You're still here. If you're here, you survived those things. And your light is still shining. Why not celebrate it? Why not let it shine bigger and brighter? Why not be a counterbalance to all the darkness? So, those are 5 reasons why. we decide to punch our ticket again and come back down to planet Earth. And let me know what you think in the comments. I really enjoy reading your comments. If you're new here, wow, when you, and I said, wow, when you go watch these wow videos, read the comments. The comments are phenomenal. The people that are drawn to this video have had all of these experiences, and they're really enlightened souls. And you guys leave these amazing experiences and comments below, and you're sharing. You're sharing. You're part of this process. You're helping others because they read your comments and they go, that I didn't know anybody had ever experienced that. I thought I was the only one. Yet here's this person from a different part of the world that's experienced the same thing. And you realize I'm not alone. These are my people. These people get me. I don't feel so different. I don't feel so alienated. So read the comments. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you for tuning in today. Take really, really good care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Okay? Be gentle with yourself right now. And I'll see you again next Wednesday.